That's right, let's not forget first, our guest tonight is Sister Farah Sardar from South London. Now, Sister Farah, after studying biology at King's College in London, she has gone on to train as a counsellor and an actress, and she's here to talk about her exciting journey into the world of arts. I cannot wait. Assalamu alaikum, Sister Farah.
Wa alaikum salam. How are you guys?
MashaAllah. Alhamdulillah, we are very well. It's great to have you on the show, Sister. We've read your bio, and we were saying, isn't it, Aisha?
Oh my God.
Amazing. There's so many things we don't know where to start. But alhamdulillah, you know, in a nutshell, can you tell us about your journey, you know, as a mother into the fine arts, for example?
My journey. Well, I obviously, like any Asian girl, I was expected to study. It's all good. It's good to study. It's good to have a career, an academic career. So I went to King's College to study biology.
MashaAllah.
Then I trained to be a counsellor. I worked with the Muslim Women's Helpline for a while, which was around in the 1990s, an amazing organisation. I feel so proud to have been a part of it. Did an amazing job. Some amazing people. Worked with some amazing people, and then just got busy with my children. Did pastoral work in schools. Always worked part-time, but then something just came out, something which I had when I was a child, which I loved, and that was performance and acting. And I thought, well, you know, I'd like to do an evening class, and it just took off from there, basically.
That sounds really fantastic. You've dipped your toes in many areas in life, and mashallah, very creative person. So I believe you can sing. We won't ask you to sing now, unless you want to. You can, as you said, that you can act as well, and you can paint, and you can play the piano, which I actually would love to do myself.
I used to play. I haven't played for a while, but I did used to play.
Don't worry, this is not an audition or talent show, so you're okay, you're safe, mashallah. But out of all the talents and skills that you have and you've lost, which ones which one is your favourite? And
it's got to be acting, definitely. If I don't act, or if I don't express myself creatively generally, it feels like something's dying inside. I believe everybody is creative, and everybody needs to express that. Whether you can do knitting, you know, drawing, jewellery making, I think people forget that. You know, they get busy with life and they forget.
That's very interesting because, you know, if you're asking me, I would think, you know, the arts and the singing, you know, I mean, there's an end product to acting, of course, because you can watch back what you've just done. But it's such a tough decision, isn't it? And naturally, you must have a real passion for the actual, the acting and that kind of profession. So it's really great to hear. Now, as you've gotten into it, and as your confidence has obviously grown, alhamdulillah, you know, you had to then do what other actors have to do, which is to get an agent, which can be quite tough. How did you find that? Was it a challenge getting a good agent?
Well, do you know what? Things have changed a lot now. So there's so much going on online. For a long time, I didn't have an agent, and I didn't feel that I needed to have an agent. And with this particular thing, there's no fixed way of getting into it. You don't know which gate is going to open. So for a long time, I didn't have an agent. For a while, I had an agent, but I didn't feel I was progressing too much with that agent.
I see.
And then it was only recently, actually, last November, a year, and I finally found this guy, this agent, and and from there I got a small guest role in EastEnders, which was amazing.
It's absolutely fantastic. Really, I mean, EastEnders is such a massive show, obviously, and could you just explain the moment as a hijabi as well? You know, it's not expected or the norm to see many hijabi actresses on screen, so well done to you. And how did it all happen? How did you manage to get on there? How did you feel when you were told that you got the role?
Well, it was really nice actually. They approached my agent, and it wasn't the casting that actually went out. They actually said, "Can Farah audition for this part?" And I was so happy because of two things. First of all, it was a big show, and secondly, this is what I had been trying to do from the very beginning. I did not want to play traditional Asian mum in the arranged marriage all the time, which before, in the beginning, that's what I was getting asked to do. And so to play a doctor, an English-speaking doctor, it was amazing. So I auditioned, and my husband's very helpful. He always plays the other part. So I auditioned with my husband.
So he was the patient in this case. He was the patient, you were the doctor.
Yeah, he was the woman who thought she was pregnant.
Yes.
Oh, that's interesting. Oh.
I saw the clip and you did very well, mashallah, really well. Expecting some award soon.
Oh.
Inshallah.
So what happened? What happened when you actually received it? You went on set. How was the experience for you?
Oh my God! I just felt like I belonged there, and it's very, very much passion driven. Yeah. You know, it was actually set up in a studio, that room, and it was very intense, and everybody was very kind. Some directors are just so nurturing, you know, and I was very much, because it's a bit of a bubble, EastEnders, because all the actors know each other. So when I'm walking in, I'm a bit like the new girl.
Yeah, yeah.
That's how they treated me, and you know, everyone was very kind and supportive. And the fellow actress Tanya, who played Rainey, you know, we were getting on very well, having a good natter. And the actual filming on set was very intense. The director wanted us to get it perfect, you know. So a lot of tweaking, a lot of shots from different angles. I think the whole thing took like quite a few hours in the end just to film that short scene. It's quite normal.
Yeah. See, what I think, Farah, is that, you know, naturally you've achieved something, you know, that's quite a big role, and inshallah there'll be more big roles that is to come. But you've achieved something great by staying true to your identity. That's what I love about all your journey as well. You know, your hijab, and that's part of your identity. So yes, it will therefore limit the possibilities of acting, but you've stuck to that identity. And there's so many characters that you could play. Why not? Of course, it's inspiring.
Definitely. And you know, when I did my first acting classes, one of the first things our acting teacher said to us is, if you don't feel comfortable doing something, do not do it. And, you know, you've really got to stay true to yourself. And I've always said that I just like to play ordinary characters who just happen to be Muslim.
What kind of responses did you get from the community, and especially your kids? I'm sure they must have been so excited to see Mum on TV. And of course, living the life.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I think whatever you do for the kids, I think it's kind of normal. Maybe now that they're older, maybe they do get a little bit excited. For my parents, mashallah, who are alive, my mum's in her 70s, my dad's in his 80s. They're kind of from another generation and another way of thinking. So for me to be doing this, it doesn't really mean anything to them.
Yeah.
I don't blame them. It's not their fault, but they wouldn't consider acting as a kind of a skill that, you know, you take into a career. But that's fine, and my husband's very supportive. But at the end of the day, I feel like I'm being true to who I really am. I'm in touch with what I want to do, and I'm doing it. And when people just have a job and it's not really their passion and they're not happy, it's just not very healthy. So to get the chance to do what you really want to do in itself, even though I'm not making loads of money and I'm not always getting acting roles, and a lot of the time you audition, you apply and you don't hear back, that's fine, as long as I'm able to pursue my passion. That in itself, I think, is just a massive thing.
And by the sounds of it, that's what your goal is. Your goal isn't to, to change the mindset of your parents, for example, or to appease people that, are in your life. It's fine, they need to respect that this is what you want to do. But I hope your parents do watch Islam Channel, so they can see you on telly. If it's not EastEnders, it's most likely will be Islam Channel then, inshallah.
Yeah. I think my mum might be quite proud if I say Islam Channel.
MashaAllah,
MashaAllah. So what are you doing currently at the moment, besides the acting? What other tricks are you up to?
I have a YouTube channel, so I do various things on that. Again, that's passion-led. When I left my other career, I did agency work in schools, so teaching assistant work. So I haven't done teacher training, so I'm not a teacher. So as and when I do that in schools, and there's always like something going on. You do an application, you're asked to do a Zoom interview, you're asked for an audition. Sometimes you're on the shortlist. I mean, once I was on like five shortlists, and then I didn't get any of them. But that's quite standard. Sometimes you get them, sometimes you don't.
That's right, yeah.
I don't believe any opportunity is wasted, because even if I've done an audition and I don't get it, producers have seen me, casting directors have seen me. I don't believe in any opportunity is wasted.
No, absolutely, especially when you're fairly new in the industry, or you were, when this must have happened. So now, we've spoken about your acting, we mentioned how you love the creative arts and what have you, and I know you've done some painting in the past as well, but you've written some books as well, haven't you? Is that right? Tell us a little bit about those.
This was quite a long time ago. They were books for Muslim children.
MashaAllah.
And they were published in 1997. So one is about the animals, and one is about the food we eat. At the time, it was totally different. These Islamic publishers had a totally different mindset. So I wanted to do a kind of book about animals, and I had so many ideas, but I was told, no, you can't have images in your books. You can't have can't have people in your books. It was a totally different mindset. It was very hard. But those books were published in 1997.
I think it would be lovely. I think it would be lovely if we tried to get them republished, because I'd like to see them, and we pop into the Islamic bookshops quite regularly. So the market's definitely there, and I think there will be people watching today that might be interested.
Yeah, just look them up. I'm sure you can get them on Amazon or eBay. So basically for young children, like toddlers and nursery children. So it's the animals, which is one. They've got lovely illustrations. I didn't do those illustrations. And the other one is called The Food We Eat.
Okay, inshallah. We'll check them out.
I know. Well, talking about the food we eat, I'm looking forward to Chef Rahman's food later. But, it's so important to be discussing women like yourself who've just accomplished so much, mashallah, and, you're very young, and you've achieved everything. And what kind of, tips can you give to the future generation about, sort of the challenges that they may face and the dreams that they want to chase? What kind of tips do you have?
I'd say that, first of all, with a career, you can change it. You can change it, but you have to work at it. You have to come up with a plan. You have to make an effort. You have to tune into what your true passion is, and it's not always easy to know that. Sometimes you're not sure, but later on something can emerge, and you think, yeah, I know, and with every bone of your body, every cell of your body says that's the direction I want to go in. But you have to work at it. You have to come up with some kind of a plan. Maybe you're going to have to acquire new skills. Maybe you're going to have to do a bit of voluntary work, but work at it.
It's good advice. Put the time, effort, and focus, and make it an accomplishment, inshallah. Inshallah. Well, listen, Sister Farah, it's been a delight to speak to you. Great to hear of your, different successes in all these different things that you've been doing. It has really, really been inspiring. Alhamdulillah.
Good luck, all the best, inshallah. Jazakallah khair.
Assalamu alaikum. Sister Farah Sardar. How about that? I'll look out for her on the telly box somewhere soon.
Exactly.